Good morning. Good morning. You're listening to WOOM 92.9 South Philadelphia Community Radio, giving you another live edition of the 623 Lives Matter radio show. Good morning. It is good to see all of you on Facebook. To those that's listening in radio land, thank you for listening. Thank you again. Um, what's up, AG? Happy birthday to you, brother. Hope you enjoy your day too, man. I see you on Facebook Live. We gonna get right into it. Um, of course, you guys know what's been going on at the at the Air Hub. A lot of, for some reason, harassment has always been a problem with UPS and our members. There's plenty of grievances filed over the years for harassment, plenty of violations, but it seems like the zero tolerance policy is one-sided. It's not for us. It's only for, it's not for the management, excuse me. It's only for us. Some of you guys know that there was a supervisor that attacked one of our members out on the day ramp, and it was pretty bad. And then a few days prior to that incident, we had a supervisor who put their hands on an alternate shop steward and was allowed to stay in their building and work. Matter of fact, once the shift was almost over, he was allowed to go back down into the area where the altercation happened. And these are the things that were supposed to be addressed in our contract. The number one issue throughout this whole negotiating process was harassment. The number one issue everywhere we went, Georgia, Utah, Westchester, Willow Grove, North Carolina, where I'm from, when I went to visit my family. We did some flyering out there. And the number one issue everywhere we went was harassment. They wanted to be protected from the company. A lot of people don't understand that. Yeah, UPS is very profitable. They're number one in logistics. There's a lot of stuff that go on behind closed doors that the people on the outside just do not know about. And it was supposed to be addressed, and it wasn't addressed. And so now we are in a situation where there is no, what's going on, man? There is no penalties for what goes on. They can continue to do what they want to do. Me and Clarence here, we saw it firsthand. I remember I had a instance not long ago where a member was threatened right in front of me. And, I remember it verbatim. The soup said that if you open up your mouth again, it's going to be a problem. I'll never forget it. So right when that was said, we went to the office. And what she wanted, well, I wanted the same thing that would have happened to her if she would have said it. And of course, oh man, we don't know what you're talking about, what nothing would have happened. Everybody knows what would have happened if you made that kind of statement to a supervisor. You get walked out. And there's no if and buts about it. But for some reason, when it comes to zero tolerance, it's only for us and not for the management. And so what I did was we printed up some information to try to educate our members on to be better prepared to protect themselves from harassment, from any type of violence in the workplace. OSHA has a really good detailed articles and information about it. We'll post it up later on after the show. You can go to OSHA, because a lot of people don't know that it's actually an OSHA violation as well for any safety concerns that you may have. Not being able to work safely or fear of violence is an OSHA violation. So that's another avenue that we can use to protect ourselves when the contract doesn't. We had another situation me and Clarence witnessed where the supervisor was getting ready to attack another supervisor. And, Clarence is like, man, Hook, man, maybe we should do something about it. And I told him, no, we shouldn't. Because we don't have the same protections that they had. We go and try to break it up, we end up getting fired. So, you got to be mindful of that. And he was still allowed to able to work. The sexual harassment in that building, that one of our members complained about it from a supervisor. They let him work. And then when they felt like, okay, well, we're going to, do something about it, all they did was move him to another facility in Oregon Avenue. I don't know if he's still working there. But they moved him. You know what I mean? So the issue of violence in the workplace and harassment, all these things, you guys, we got to pay attention. We got to look out for one another. I got some information here I'm gonna read off to you guys. Like I said, we will put it on our web page, well, Facebook page after the show. I don't know if you guys know, but 2 million American workers, 2 million, are victim of workplace violence. You know what I mean? That's a lot of people. A lot of people. 2 million people are subject to workplace violence. And when you work in a hostile environment like we do at UPS, it's amazing that those numbers are not higher. I mean, we remember what happened in Alabama, and we remember what happened in San Francisco. And what we don't want another issue like that happening over here. You know what I mean? We don't want that to happen anywhere. We want to protect our members at all costs, because if you can't work safe and come to work without fear of being retaliated against or being attacked by a supervisor or anybody, then that's a problem. UPS does not do a good job of training their supervisors on how to talk and how to interact with members. I think what it is they feel as though that they're better than the members, and they feel some type of, I don't know, that they have to try to impose their will on us because we're in a union. And I think that frightens them. They take the necessary precautions in doing this. And I want to read this thing to you that I found out on, it's called the Workplace Violence Program, Prevention Program. And I found some information about that when it talks about zero tolerance policies. And it talks about how management uses these policies to benefit themselves. They don't necessarily mean it for them. It's just all about, just dominating the members constantly. And when you don't have language in your contract that protects you from these types of situations, then it's going to benefit the company. And you see it every day at UPS. These guys do whatever they want to do. They just, and there's no repercussion, none at all. So I'm gonna let Clarence talk about it, because he got some information about it as well.
Good morning. The reason why the numbers that Rich was reading off are not higher, because think about how many workplace violence issues are not reported.
Right.
And that just at UPS alone, I can tell you a few instances that I've witnessed and been involved in as a steward, who the management will just brush right over it. They try to cover it up, and it's only when we push the issue as hard as we could that they even attempt to even try to do anything. I mean, we had an issue with a supervisor put his hands on an alternate steward, and that supervisor worked the rest of the day.
Right.
Now, it is completely different when it's us. Like with the situation Rich was talking about, when the supervisor said, "Open your mouth, is going to be a problem," you can interpret that a whole lot of different ways.
Yeah.
But if it's an hourly, it's interpreted as one way, and that is you're being violent in the workplace. That's it. You say something like "open your mouth, is going to be a problem." To me, I mean,
that's a threat.
That's a threat.
But
when if it's an hourly, you're walked out immediately.
Right.
They don't even need a steward. In a situation where there's violence in the workplace, they don't even need a steward to walk you out. They can just walk you out, and then you can do a hearing later. You gotta call the hall, whatever the case may be. But when it's an hourly, when it's a supervisor, you gotta jump through hoops and bounds for them to do anything, and it ain't fair. And the main thing that the main issue we want to address was violence in the workplace and harassment.
Yeah.
No, you should never have to come to work and worry about a supervisor riding your back, yelling at you, and all types of stuff like that. They need to treat you the way they want to be treated. They'll be the first ones to tell you, if you see a package that you won't want at your house, don't send it out. Same thing goes for them. You talk to people the way you want people to talk to you. That's how you earn respect. That's good business.
Right.
But because we're union, it's like from my own experience, it's the supervisors who are the most aggressive towards the employee are the ones who always get promoted.
Right.
If you have a nice supervisor, he gets moved, he gets talked down to. So it's like I don't know if the company is encouraging this behavior, but it's going on way, way, way too much.
And it's everywhere, Clarence, everywhere. I remember I told you about the instance down in North Carolina when I went down there, and the drivers was telling me that they had the vendor manager just lay into the drivers down there, had them all in the corner, just yelling and screaming at them and all these kinds of things. And the first thing I asked was, "What did your officials do?" He said they didn't do anything. And that's why I believe that our this local here, right here at 623, and the managers that we were. Now, all managers are not bad.
No.
I'm gonna put it out there.
No.
We have a lot of good, wholesome, quality management at out here at 623. But then you have some that are not so good, and these are the ones that we need to talk about, because, like I said, they will push you and push you and push. I even have the night store managers tell me that that the unions are a necessary evil, because they understand, and we understand, that without the union, man, they would just go roughshod on us, man. There would be no protections at all, especially when it comes to his harassment stuff. And these guys are going to continue to do it because they feel as though that there is no language, number one, in the contract that really protects us from it. We ask for it and we don't get it. Right now, it's the same thing all the time. The company will abide by Articles 36 and 37. It's going to be the same thing in this upcoming proposed contract. All they did was put, some more words in there to make it seem like they were doing something with the sitting arbitrator, and that you will be, that they will be empowered to pay you. There's nothing that's saying that you will get paid. There's nothing that's saying that, hey, that this supervisor who was in this act is going to get fired, or this, that, and the other who's going to get suspended. There's none of that. All it says is that the arbitrator will be empowered to give you some a payment. That's it. That's not giving me any definite answer to the problem. Somebody being empowered to do something don't mean they're gonna do it.
Our union officials are empowered to give us a good contract, but has that been done?
Nah.
And speaking of that, there's been a lot of talk around the hub about there's always going to be rumors. No matter where you work at or what's going on, there's going to be rumors. I mean, people are putting out there that Jumbo voted yes for the supplement. Now I'm hearing that we're saying vote yes for the supplement, no on the contract.
That's what they saying?
Yeah, that's what I heard. That's what I heard today in the hub. Our message has not changed since day one. There's always been we're voting no till they give us something better. Now I hear the rumors, but I don't address them because I know. And the rumors are just that. People put rumors out just to discourage people or just to stir up trouble. So a lot of times you gotta look at what's really going on instead of listening to the rumors. Like, you can ride down Hog Island Road and you're gonna see Jumbo out there with the vote no sign. And he's been a fixture on that road
for years.
For the last 5 years.
Not longer than that.
So
longer than that.
So no rumor is gonna tell me that Jumbo's voting yes when I know I see that man out there every day and he's gonna vote no.
Yeah.
And I've also heard people say, I've had people come up to me and say they voted no. I've had people come up to me and say they voted yes. And the most disturbing thing, I'm just glad people are voting, but the most disturbing thing I've heard is people saying I voted yes because I have no faith that our leaders are going to go back and fight for anything different.
Wow.
Now,
the same thing too.
To me, that's, as a union, you have a right to vote. But when you put an ultimatum like that to your membership, you're actually taking that right away. Because you're telling them, if you vote this way, then this is what's going to happen. Your job is to negotiate something good for us. And I want you guys to think about this. I know a lot of people may have already voted. It's halfway through. I want y'all to think about this. Why should you have to settle for anything less? The fact is, if you look at history, if the people who came before us settled for less, then a lot of us wouldn't be here where we are at today.
That's true. That's true.
So you can say, I'm voting yes because I don't believe they're going to go back and fight anything better. But I say, if we vote no, we force them to have to do their job. They have to go and negotiate something better.
Right.
Now, if you think about the people in '97, What if they would have settled for anything less? Then UPS would have control of the pension. There wouldn't be no new full-time inside jobs. There would be a lot of stuff that we wouldn't have today if they would have just settled for whatever they gave them.
Right.
You don't have to settle. You, as a hard-working Teamster, deserve better.
Right.
And the fact is, you will not get it if you don't stand up and fight for it. And unions, period, would not have anything without standing up and fighting for it. You had to fight to just negotiate. Now, what if the people who, before the unions even started, just gave up and said, because they tried to stop the bargaining agreements. What if those people would have gave up? Then we wouldn't be sitting here talking about the stuff that we should be having. We would be at any big corporation's mercy without a union. And the union is only as strong as its weakest member. The executive board is not the union. We had the power to vote. So they gave us that ultimatum. And me personally, they can take that ultimatum and shove it, because I'm still going to vote no. You're not going to tell me how I should or shouldn't vote, because it's my right. Because if you're going to tell me how I should or shouldn't vote, then you're taking away my right to choose. And how can you collective bargain when you're only giving me one option to vote? It's not collective bargain.
It's not.
So just think about that before you guys decide you want to vote yes or vote no. I just want you to vote, but just don't vote yes just to settle for what the company's giving.
Or because you don't believe that the people in office going to go back and get you something better.
That's sad, man.
It
That's
is sad. And I want to throw this out there to you as well. If you guys remember in 2013 when they gave us this team care, from the very beginning, team care was really, really, really bad. And they told us there was nothing they could do about it. So it got shot down, and then guess what happened? They had to make improvements to it. They had to make improvements to it after they told us that there was nothing they could do. Same thing what they're trying to do this time. They're telling us, hey man, this is the best I could do. We can't undermine the IBT on this, that, and the other. Hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you something. If we don't vote this down, it's gonna be a bad situation. Not just now, but moving forward. And a lot of times, man, we gotta look at the whole contract. Every word in that contract means something. Every single word. And I know a lot of people really probably haven't paid attention to this. I know some people have. But if you go to the master contract and you look at the memorandum of understanding, and it talks about the pension. If you go back through the other contracts, it tells you, it has in there that it's going to, the UPS won't try to get out of it in words for 10 years. Well, in this contract, they struck through the 10 and just put 5. So after this contract, UPS is going to try to get out of the pension all the way together. So you got to pay attention. They just didn't put that in there just because it sound good, look good. They did that for a reason. You know, they got out of their own management teams, non-union pension. So if you look at this contract, man, they're thinking about what they're going to do in the future. Something that the Teamsters don't do. They do a lot of reacting and not being proactive. And that's the problem with the Teamsters in general. They wait for stuff to happen, then they react, instead of being proactive and making stuff happen for their members, instead of letting somebody dictate to them what their members are supposed to take. Y'all need to go back and look at that. They didn't do that for no reason. Then this whole if you don't vote the first time thing and all this stuff with the pension, you gotta look at, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm just looking too far ahead, and maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but to me, now this is just my opinion, Clarence. Maybe I'm just thinking too far, whatever. Would it be, I suggest this to you, Clarence, would it be that if I'm UPS and I can go to the weak locals who have weak local leaders, and I put this on the table and say, hey, look, if you guys don't do this the first time, this is what we're going to do. Now, move ahead. Now, in the contract we got now, in the memorandum of understanding, they said that they already cut the 10-year part out. It's only going to be 5. So now when I go back to the table in 2023, if I see it worked on these other locals, because you got to understand that Philadelphia, the air hub, and this local, we had the number two largest facility. Right. Right. And the number 1 on the East Coast. So if I can get that here, if I can threaten the members here and they fall for it, now I know I can gauge on how far I can push them in 2023. because I plan to get out of it anyway. Because they didn't put it in there for no reason. They didn't do it for no reason but to get out of the pension altogether. And people need to pay attention. Everything in that contract means something. Every word, every single strike through they did, it means something. You ain't got to take my word for it, our word for it. 623 Lives Matter. Look at it for yourself. It's in the memorandum of understanding. They took that out for a reason. Now,
That's just this local.
No, I'm talking about the national. They got the national part where it says they cut it out. The pension, in layman's terms, they don't have to protect the pensions for 10 years like they did. They do now.
That's a huge concession.
That's what I'm saying. So if I can try that here, I say, hey, look, if y'all don't do it because it's here, Western PA, the Metro Philly, they all got that same language. If you don't do it the first time, this is what's going to happen. And these areas are big areas. You know, Metro Philly and 623, that's a whole lot of members.
No, I don't know if you guys seen the movie Harlem Nights. I'm going to try to put it in perspective from what Rich is saying. In the movie Harlem Nights, Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor was having a conversation. And Eddie Murphy was saying he don't care, he's not scared of nobody. He said the other guy got guns, he got guns. And Richard Pryor's like, you got one gun, he got 100 guns. And Eddie Murphy said, it's not how many people you
It's
shoot.
who you shoot.
It's who you shoot.
It's who you shoot, right.
So it's not how many locals they can get to do it. It's which ones they can get.
Right.
So if they can get a local like us to abide by that contract and threaten us, then all the other locals are going to systematically fall in place. It's a systematic domination of what UPS does. That's what they do.
Right.
Just like they pit part-timers against full-timers. In every contract, they always focus on the biggest group that they can focus on just to get the contract passed. Like now, they're hiring 8 or 9 new hires a week. 8 or 9 new hires a week just on preload. So how many is on twilight? How many is on midnight? So if all of them get a chance to vote, right? The only thing they're thinking about is I'm going to jump up to $13 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So the UPS, like you said, they think way ahead. Way ahead. So, and my thing is, as a union, if you got a 10-year protection, why would you let them cut it in half to 5?
Right.
So you're talking this junk about UPS. We got to vote yes so they can protect the pension. They got to vote yes so they can put the money towards the pension. Well, we had a 10-year protection, so we should be voting no because you cut it in half.
Right.
So that's $6 million you saying that UPS is giving us towards the pension to fix it. Is that coming from the $6 million they're going to be saving for that 5 years they ain't got to cover us? So you got to think about that.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out. They all this propaganda they sending out with these ballots, the yes,
Man,
this, that, and the other.
I get so much stuff. It's ridiculous.
That's the $6 million right there. That's the money they can use to put into the pensions and all these kinds of things. Man, I never seen nothing like this, Clarence. I mean, these guys is off the hook, man.
I can see 1, 2. I'm talking 3, 4.
And then they calling the house. Then UPS calling the house. I walked in there on Monday, and then UPS got their paperwork out saying, vote for your future and this, that, and what you're going to get. I've never seen it. And more and more I think about it, man, I'm telling you, hey, Espo, the grievance that you filed for the full-time job, man, I don't know nothing, I don't know what they're doing with that. I know you don't know what they're doing with that. I don't know. The whole grievance process is just broken, period. In my experience, they fight for who they want to fight for. Espo, in my opinion, I think if you was for them, I think you would have had an answer by now about that full-time grievance. I believe that. I really believe that. Those 5 grievances that I filed, what they did to me with those, if I was for them, that would have never happened. They do whatever they want to do, and the grievance procedure is the lifeblood of the union. That's how we hold the company accountable.
Right.
And that's how we hold our members accountable as well. And but when that process is broken, man, it leaves up in the air like, man, what's the purpose of filing the grievance? What's the purpose of doing anything if I'm not getting?
And that's why a lot of men, I've heard a lot of members say, why should I file a grievance if it's going to take 2-3 months to even hear it? Then it takes longer than that to get it paid. And I want to tell y'all something, man. We had at the airport about that bonus. A grievance was put. Well, I can't tell you if a grievance was put in. I was told a grievance was put in over a year ago, and I found out last night that the bonus has been extended for the rest of the year.
What?
I just found out last night. The $100 bonus for the new hire, and you can't even say new hires no more. These people been here for a year or so, and they're making $100. They're making way more than people been here for 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
That's messed up, man.
The $100. We was told over a year ago the grievance was put in. Now I'm gonna tell y'all, because I know Shanahan do a lot of backtracking. When we first brought that up, he said he was okay with it. He didn't say anything about, oh man, we got to agree with it ain't right. He said, oh well, we'll try to get it. We'll try this. We'll do this. He was all right with it. This bonus thing is going on 2 years, man. So when is the grievance going to be heard? It's always it's stuck over here, it's stuck over there. But for the last year, the new hires are still getting it. The new hires got a $100 bonus. New hires are going to get a way bigger raise than everybody else. And now it's been extended for the rest of the year.
But Clarence, check this out. And I see James Romeo up here. James Romeo did a calculation about how much money actually, if you calculate it with the bonus, how much a new hire will be making, is making with the $100 bonus, and he actually put it up there and it's over $15. So if the new hire, if they vote yes, they're actually going to be losing money, because the fight is $15 and not $13. So when you get that bonus, you're actually making $15 or more, or close to $15 or more an hour. So if you vote yes to this contract, and they take that bonus away from you, you're going to be making less money. So y'all need to think about that. And I think we need to push that out there. We really need to push it out there, class. The new hires, if you're listening to this and you are getting that bonus, you are actually voting against how much money you're going to bring home, and that is that's something. That is something. Yeah, it's the new hires and the midnight store. They're the only ones that get it right.
Midnight, right.
The new hires in the midnight store. If you guys are watching this or whatever the case may be, we're gonna put it up there later on. If you vote yes to this contract, you're gonna be missing. You're gonna be losing money, because that bonus you get is putting you over $13 an hour. And I don't think they're telling them that. They're not telling them that. They're just trying to get this contract passed, and they're trying to buy votes. Because I had a guy call me yesterday, was wondering, is he going to get a ballot, because he just started a month ago, and he was concerned that because he wants to vote. So they really are trying to buy this vote, man. And I want you guys to think about that. Once you do the admin and all this stuff, you're going to be making more money with this bonus than you would if you vote yes and get $13 an hour. That's crazy. That is. Yeah, you're right, Espo. The bonus gets you more money than the person that's been there for years. Wow.
So that right there means seniority means nothing.
It doesn't mean anything.
Now, I had a member ask me earlier to talk about the dovetail list, because a lot of workers, new hires, or even seasonal employees don't have an idea what the dovetail list is. Well, when full-time jobs go up for bid, because I know there's going to be some full-time jobs coming up soon. A lot of the full-time jobs, they'll say full-timer only, what case may be. If no full-timer takes that job, then the company goes to the dovetail. They have to go to the dovetail list before they can hire from the outside. So you want to make sure it usually comes up like end of March.
Right, in March.
But you also can call Human Resources. Like if you missed that deadline to put your name on it, you can still call Human Resources and get your name on the dovetail list. So any bid that comes up, please sign it. Because this new contract is not addressing no inside jobs. Their biggest thing is this hybrid driver thing, which is another huge concession. So, like I said, this new contract is geared towards the new hires. The bonus geared towards the new hires.
I can't. They extended that for the whole year.
It's extended for the rest of the year. So I mean, they really don't. They're really not. They're showing that they don't care about the people who've been there for years.
They don't care.
They don't care.
They don't care, man.
So you have to vote this contract down and let them know we're not going to settle for anything. Like I was saying earlier, you cannot settle because the people before us, if they would have just settled, then we wouldn't even be here right now.
Right.
We should not settle for what they just give us. That's with anything. It's like you go home after a hard day's work and you get paid on Fridays. When you go to purchase anything, are you going to just settle for what they give you, or do you want what your money's worth? And that's what I want from our union officials. If I'm paying you dues every week, I want my money's worth. I'm not going to settle for what you say I should have. I'm not going to settle for what you say we can't get. Because there's no such thing as we can't get it.
Right.
If a company is thriving as much now, UPS right now is projected to make $7 billion. So they're projecting to make all this kinds of money. They doing all this construction. They doing all this stuff, but they can't give out new hires $15, and they can't give out vets a catch-up raise to accommodate for them not getting the 15. So now, like you said, what Romeo put up there, if they're making the equivalent of 15 now, they can do it. I mean, they can do it.
They're already doing it.
Right.
They're already doing it. They're already paying over $15 an hour when you add the bonus in there, so they can do it, and they kept extending it. So they don't mind. They don't mind. So they, I don't get it, man. These guys. Ooh.
Remember, it was supposed to stop.
It was supposed to stop July 31st
when the contract was over.
Right. And they kept extending it, and they kept extending. Now it's extended to the end of
the year.
But I wonder this, class. Say the contract gets passed, right? And they bump them up to $13. Will they still get the bonus?
No, because there's nothing that says they have to get it now.
But they say they're going to give it to them through the end of the year. So they're going to backtrack once the contract passed?
Yes, they haven't backtracked before.
Well, wouldn't that be something, though? Wouldn't that be something that if the contract passed, gets bumped up to $13, and they still get the bonus? Now, I've been there for 7 years, 8 years, almost a decade, and this person who just came in the door is going to make more money than me with the bonus.
You know what? I'm going to tell you something, man. What I'm there 7 years, 8 years, whatever the case may be. Now, I'm a full-time. I've been there almost 20 years.
Oh, man.
If you're going to tell me that you're going to pick this person out and say, you come to work every day, then I'm going to give you a $100 bonus. And I'm coming to work every day. Why shouldn't I get it?
You ain't getting it, man.
And then if I call out, you want to put me in the office. So you're telling me I got to come to work every day,
right?
And I ain't getting nothing extra. But you got somebody on the side who got way less seniority. Mm-hmm. And then it's not even about how much I make, how much they make. That's not about that at all. Because when it comes towards a union is one. We all are one.
It's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be. Which means, because we had a situation, perfect example. Situation in the hub today, last night, where a shop steward was, a management person told the shop steward, well, who is you, whatever the case may be, and you ain't nobody, and all this other stuff. He said, oh yeah? I show you. So, and as stewards, you mess with one of us,
you mess with all of us, right.
So he can't say, yeah, look, this is what happened. I said, oh yeah, this is how they gonna do it? All right, so with my situation, they was there to back me up, and I wanted to do the same thing. So I rode around, because I'm able to do that as a bearing responder. Picked out supervisor, yo, get out that can. They was like, oh, then it was twilight suits. So as I'm telling them to get out the can, the supervisor, he didn't address me. He says on the radio, yeah, we got Clarence Bag over there telling the supervisor they can't work. So the manager comes over, looks at me, don't say nothing. Because the thing is, I know the rule. I'm in my area. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Dude, you ain't working. Simple as that. By the end of the day, South Store came back over to me, said, "Yeah, man, they want to sit down." But the purpose is, as a union person,
You gotta be one.
you have to be one. You cannot let them systematically divide us.
Right.
And that bonus, you have people been there 4 years, 5 years, and they're upset, and they have every right to be. Because this company is systematically dividing us. They're systematically dividing us between the full-timers, part-timers, new hires. We cannot let them systematically divide us. And that's what they're doing. So, as far as the bonus, we all should be fighting for it. So, if you give it to one, you give it to all.
Right.
And like I said, the grievance was put in over a year ago. Well, so I was told. I ain't never seen no grievance put in. I don't know.
We ain't never seen it.
But so I was told it was put in. But for them to extend it for the next end of the year,
that's messed up.
obviously they ain't listening.
They don't care. Look, the supervisors will tell you to go ahead and file a grievance. They don't care about no grievance. They don't care. I mean, what repercussion are they gonna suffer because they getting over on the contract? Nothing.
No.
Nothing. There's no teeth in the harassment language. Supervisors did continue to work. You had Twilight shoots working on midnight. Now that should be our people doubling.
Two of them.
That's what
In
I'm
the same,
saying.
well, actually, I seen two in the same can. That's just on that one PF.
Right. The grievance I put in was for 5 Twilight suits working upstairs. That should be our people. That should be our people working. Listen, UPS do what they want to do. They don't care. They don't fear the union, like you said. We're divided, and they know it, and they're taking advantage of it. You know what I mean? But the vision starts at the top. I don't care what nobody say. Oh, you guys, y'all don't want to divide. No, we're trying to bring everyone. Look, listen. If you look at it holistically, the rank and file members are more together than they've ever been before. It's not our fault that the leaders don't want to be involved in that. That's their agenda. That's what they want to do. You can't negotiate bad contracts and then say it's our fault that we're not together. You can't let the company do whatever they want to do and say it's our fault that we're not together. You can't pick and choose what battles you want to fight and then say it's our fault that we're not together. You can't do stuff like that. Rather we support you or not, you still take our money. Matter of fact, the same dues that people support you are the same dues that you get from the people that don't support you guys. It's the same. It's the same. Money is green no matter who's giving it to you. It doesn't matter. But we the ones that divide and that's fine. But again, the ballots are out. You guys gotta vote. Like I said earlier in our post that we put to promote this show. Hey, look, if you guys need help, if you don't have internet at the house or internet access to internet at all, if you don't have a phone, cell phone, whatever the case may be, we will help you vote. We won't vote for you, but we will help you vote to make sure you cast your vote. So make sure if you need help, you know where we're at, you know our numbers, you know our page. If you need any help, reach out to one of us and we'll help you out. Like I said, we will not vote for you. We will not vote for you. You can vote yes or no. We're not going to do that.
He's right. A good contract sells itself.
Right.
You don't need You don't need all the propaganda to come through the mail.
I heard somebody say this. I heard somebody say it like this. I don't know if you have, but I've never seen a Rolls Royce commercial.
That's good.
I never seen a Rolls Royce commercial.
That's good. Yeah, you're right.
Because they know the product they made, they stand behind it, and it sells itself. They don't even got to put a commercial out. You know what I mean?
You're right.
But this stuff here, man, they got to send it to your house. They got so, and then they put the yes propaganda in the ballot with the mail. You know what I mean? Yeah. Look at this here. Look at that. Somebody brought this to me. Look at this.
Perfect example.
Perfect
That's what
example.
we're talking about.
All this stuff here. Better working conditions. Improved working conditions, better regulations on building heat. Building. Man, when are they going to do that? But they going to put air conditioners in the building?
Dude, it's 10 degrees in the wintertime.
Right.
It's cold as ever in there.
Then it says higher start rates will help in the hiring of new part-time employees and address the chronic staffing shortages that we deal with every day. A new hire will make $15.50 by 2022. 2022.
They should make it $15.50.
They should be making that now.
Think about what the dollars will be worth in 2022.
Right. And all this stuff they got up here talking about the pension that they trying to get out of, the working conditions that are not going to be improved. I had a fight with them not long ago. I had to put a grievance in, a safety grievance, because of the working conditions. They messed that whole SLS part up, man. I had to file grievance after grievance, had to call OSHA, all kind of stuff. And they talking about improved working conditions, as hot as it is in there and as cold as it is in there in the wintertime. It ain't going to be nothing. Man, look, listen, don't get fooled by what they say. Both parties are in collusion together to get us to be delusional about voting. We can't let this happen, y'all. We cannot let this happen. All right, listen, the ballots are out. Make sure you guys vote. October the 5th will be the count. You have until October the 5th by 1 o'clock to have your vote in. October the 5th at 8 o'clock, which is next Friday. Next Friday, not this Friday, but next Friday, they're going to be counting the ballots, and I'm hoping you guys get it in. Don't be late. Don't procrastinate. Don't put it on the table and say I'll get it to it. No. Make sure you vote. Vote this contract down. There is nothing in it but scare tactics and concessions. There is nothing in it for the person that's been there and all this other kind of. They're trying to scare us with the whole pension thing, saying, "Oh man, if you don't do it the first time, listen." They said the same thing about team care and about how if you don't take it the first time, that's all we could do. Hey, Sharon, how you doing?
Yeah.
That's all they could do. But they went back to the table and it made it better for us. They're gonna fix this pension. I'm telling you, they're trying to set us up with this whole thing about the pension for 2023. All right. Yeah, man. Hey, listen. You guys gotta pay attention to what's going on. You gotta pay attention. And I want to put this out there. Hey, look, Hector Fortes, he has a show. Union Power Radio comes on every Saturday from 3 to 5. Make sure you check him out. Very, very, very good show. Same thing that going over in 804 is going over here. Weak leadership, bad contracts, bad supplement. I think their supplement and our supplement might be it might be a tie for the worst, because they got one page, and I think ours is one page too with the improvements or something. Or it might be two. I don't know. The supplement is just bad.
There is no improvements. It's the same exact supplement that we had that we voted no to 2 years.
Right, like the driver said at the meeting. You said you want us to vote yeah for the same stuff that we voted no to, and then you threaten us because you're gonna take part of our raise and put it to the pension. I'm telling you, if UPS get away with this next in 2023, it's going to be a national situation because they're trying to get out of the pension. Like I said, read the language for yourself in the memorandum of understanding in the national. It'll show you all these years it's been 10-year protection for the pension. All these years it's been 10 years. Now all of a sudden they're trying to make it 5, and after the 5th year, which is going to be 2023, ironically that's when this proposed contract going to run out. You're going to see what these guys are going to try to do. And with the people that we have in the international office, our local officers, they're not going to fight. You know it. I know it. Rather you may not agree with it or not, they're not going to fight for us. You know it. You just don't want to believe it. Listen, you guys got to pay attention. You got to pay attention to what's going on. This is your livelihood. They showed you who they care about, and it wasn't you. They cared about UPS and their pocketbooks. Because they don't care about you at all, and they're showing it. They just told you in this flyer that they're gonna have better working conditions. When they gonna do that?
You know what? Listen, like you said, good contract sells itself.
Sell itself, like you said.
All this stuff that we've been getting in the mail, they're
and this
pushing
is
this contract
this
so
is
much.
our dues money paying this. The pensions that are in bad shape and all this stuff, they could have used these flyers to pay for the pension, some of the pension. Right. Y'all seen what happened after the Central States Pension Fund, what happened when the UPS got out of that. Man, there's all kind of problems out of there. What you think going to happen to our pensions if they try to get out of it over here? You know what's going to happen. Right. I know. So this is what you got to do, man. Look, pay attention to what's going on. Like I said, you don't have to listen to us. Just find out for yourself. The information is there. The contract is there. Look at the memorandum of understanding. In a national contract, it'll tell you they cut the pension protection from 10 to 5 years. I know, Eddie. Everybody's tired of the suits working, man, but the language is not strong enough to stop them. And I think a lot of it is the members think that when the supervisors work, that the remedy is that you should get paid. That's not the goal. If your goal is to get paid, then I understand why. But what we want is them to stop working all together. It's not about getting paid. It's not about you know this, that, and the other. If you get paid and that's your mission to get paid, okay, that's cool. But it should be to stop the supervisor from working. If the supervisor doesn't stop working, guess what they're taking? They're taking from pension contributions. They're taking from full-time jobs. They're taking from jobs in general. So you can get paid all you want to, but guess what? You're missing out on jobs. You're missing out on pension contributions.
You know what?
So it's a problem all the way around.
No, you gotta look at the big picture. Big picture is, if you want the pension to be improved, then you create more full-time jobs.
Right.
And it is ample opportunity to have full-time jobs. And as much as if you take out all the supervisors from working, then they'll have to replace that with more people. More people means more money in the pension. And you can't stop the suits from working if the grievance language is not stronger. So if you look at it, all this is a domino effect. From suits working to the grievance procedure being broken, all that can be contributed to why the pension is in trouble. And the thing is, all they tell us is in trouble. They ain't telling us why.
They ain't telling us why. They ain't showing us anything. And that's the problem we talked about last week.
Right.
Like you and I, all of us in here know. All of us got Pico in here. Pico will tell you that, yo, you owe this much money. And they'll tell you why. They'll show you a chart and say, hey, look, I owe you, Mr. Hooker, Mr. Baby, hey, man, y'all was out here, man. It was hot, and y'all was using the AC. Y'all had it on all night long, man. You owe this much money. We had no problem with that because we see it.
Right.
I know why I owe this money. I know. But for some reason with this pension situation, all they said was, if you don't do it the first time, you're going to take money out of we're going to take part of your raise. And this is how much money you're going to lose and all this other kind of stuff. But there was nothing on the side of it to say, this is why the pension is short. This is why, this, that, and the other. There was nothing that said that. But for the life of me, and I was talking to somebody yesterday, I get that. I understand, nobody wants to lose money to pension. Just like you and me, Clarence, we didn't want to lose 7 out of the last 10 years of not getting a full raise. No. But there was no fly that it was telling you how much money I was losing.
And that's the thing. What they're saying was short $6 million, right?
Right.
It's like my car been down. Well, it was what? Right. When I had my charger broke down last year. It was down for a while. Right. Took it to the mechanic. Guy said it's going to cost this amount of money to fix. And he told me why it was going to cost that much. Now, if your car breaks down, you go to the mechanic, and he said it's going to be $1,000 to fix, you wouldn't know what he fixing.
Right.
I mean, don't tell me it's going to cost $1,000, but don't tell me what you're doing.
Right, and that's the problem. That's the problem. They didn't tell us why we didn't get our full raise 7 out of the last 10 years. Now they're telling us.
Actually, they give us a bogus excuse.
And what was that?
The
buyout. We had a buyout. Yeah,
right.
Then we couldn't find out. No, Izzy told us it was they loaned them the money and we had to pay it back. Right. Couldn't find out that it wasn't that. It was a buyout, which means the UPS don't have to contribute no more. So why are we paying back money? But that was his answer. Whatever.
You gotta look at it like I was saying before, with the $6 million. UPS is the stingiest company around. They send you home after 2 hours. They don't let you get your guarantee. Right. So why would they just give us $6 million if it ain't going to benefit them? Right. They ain't just going to give it to us. Right. So you got to think about that.
Yeah, it's a sad situation, man.
It is.
And like Espo was saying, man, none of us have the problem with the remedy if they're going to give us triple time for the suits working. The problem is they don't even give you the double time and the time they're supposed to give you right now for the supervisors working. Just like this whole thing about they were supposed to stop excessive overtime for the drivers. That's what this main issue for the 22-4. That was, we're going to eliminate excessive overtime. So what they did was, instead of making the 9-5 language stronger, okay, let's let the company off the hook, create a second-class, second-rate driver, pay them less money so they can alleviate the overtime. That way, the company will save money, and the unit get more pension contributions for the full-time job. So it's a win-win. That's why they're pushing this contract. It's a win-win for the people in office. It's a win-win for the company.
And like we said earlier, it's a systematic divide.
Right.
Because they say they're alleviating overtime, But if they're not alleviating it, they're putting it on somebody else. So,
at a lower rate.
At a lower rate. So you're going to have some drivers who want the overtime who's not going to get it because they paying the lower guys to do it. And then you're going to have the lower guys who say, look, why am I working 12, 13 hours a day and these other guys get to go home? So it's a systematic divide. Mm-hmm. That's why the whole thing needs to be voted down because it's terrible.
It will. It's going to get, and I know it, and I think they know it too. It's the whole contract especially from here, supplement and the national is going to get voted down. I think it's going to be a lot closer in the supplement because a lot of people are, they're afraid of the pension, having to pay out of their pension, and for the life of me, it's kind of funny that people are afraid of that, but they weren't afraid of losing money 7 out of the last 10 years. I just don't.
Well, actually, with that situation, they didn't give us an ultimatum. They just said this is what's going. This is what it is.
Yeah, I know, Kyle. It's ugly, man. It's ugly. It's ugly, man. And the thing about it is, the 22-4 really has no definition of the job. They could be doing whatever, however long, because they don't have no rights.
They say it's inside, outside, but it could be just driving. We don't know.
We don't know. We don't know what it could be, and that's the problem.
I mean, it could be inside one day, then you drive for the rest of the 4 days. We don't know.
Right.
So how can you agree to something
that you don't know?
You don't even know.
I know. But again, hey, listen, do the reading for yourself, do the research. You don't have to listen to us. You can listen to however you want to listen to. But listen, you got to read the contract. Look at that memorandum of understanding when it tells you about how the UPS is trying to get out of the pension. Normally, it has a 10-year protection. After this contract, they're not going to be protected. So who knows what UPS is going to do. So we need to make sure that we're being proactive about this because, hey, you know, this is not what it is supposed to be when you're a Teamster. And they told us that they were going to protect, preserve, and enhance, and not just capitulate to the company and just give them whatever, and we have to be the ones that suffer. All right, hey, look, we're going to get ready to get out of here. My sister Sherry, her show's getting ready to come up, the Poor People's Economic Human Rights Campaign. Make sure you listen to her show as well. Very, very enlightful, very, very educational. A lot of stuff going on. And a lot of our members, I don't know if you guys know, a lot of our members live in these communities that are not well-to-do and impoverished, and we need to reach out to them. That's why we hooked up with her and that organization, because unions got to get more involved with the membership. You just can't take, and then when you want something done, and then you never show up until you want something from them, like elections, and if you want some money for your credit union and all this other kind of dumb stuff, where you putting out yes propaganda. Again, vote. Don't complain. Vote. Because if you don't vote, please don't complain. Don't say nothing about how bad Hoffa is. Don't say how nothing bad Shanahan and those guys. And please don't say nothing. Just take it and be quiet. Don't say nothing. Please don't complain to nobody because you didn't vote. Vote now. Like I said, we'll help you out. We won't vote for you. If you have no internet access, no phone, whatever, we'll help you out. We won't vote for you, but we will enable you to vote. All right? We're going to get ready to get out of here. We love you guys always. Keep fighting, keep working, and keep voting. God bless. We love you guys. All right? 623 Lives Matter.